Greetings, Patrick here. Have Cheetah will view, and it is time for Dollar Theater Voters Edition. That is when we put out 4 movies out for you guys to vote on, and whoever wins gets picked and watched by me and the Cheetah. Then we review it, and then last week we did Predator, an old classic from 1987. I went back there and got that one, and went back there and reviewed that. That was fun to review, though. I have to admit, I had not seen Predator in about 20 years, so it was really, really interesting to see how I was gonna watch it, how I remembered it. I remembered it a whole hell of a lot better than I thought I would. I really, really like Predator quite a bit. This film is from 2020, and the movie that we'll be talking about from 2020 is The Quarry. This is co-written and by Scott Thames, also directed by Scott, and it has a strong cast to it. Shea Wiggum, Oscar nominee Michael Shannon from The Shape of Water, and Catalina Sandino Moreno from Mary Full of Grace. So a strong cast, and we open up the movie with like a man driving down in his van, and he is drinking heavy. Drinking wine, and he's driving on the road. He sees a man laying in the middle of the road, and so he stops his van and helps this guy get into his van, and that's Shea Wiggum's character, and so he's about all done in for. So the stranger, he drives him on, and he stops at a restaurant, and you can see that Shea Wiggum's character has been out there for a while, and he's starving. And then we start seeing flashbacks from the stranger. He starts flashing back, and there's this massive fire, and a house on fire, and we're going like, wow, that's like, okay, so what's the story behind that? So just as she's thinking about that, they get back on the road, and this man starts talking to him. He's a priest, a Spanish priest, and he's going down to a new parishioner. He's going down to a new church. But you can tell by the bottles in the truck, though, that he's been shipped around quite a bit, because he can't stay anywhere for very long, because he has alcoholism, and that's not really a good thing to have when you're a priest. But anyway, before he gets to that small town, he tells the stranger that he's going to pull over and dry out a bit. So he pulls over in this where this little quarry's at, and but then we see the priest. He's a little bit of a predator, and he's hoping to get a little something in back for his rescuing him. He becomes very friendly and very touchy, and the stranger doesn't like that. And he says, I'm not really, I'm not a religious man, nor I am that kind of man. And then the priest, he makes a mistake of saying that, well, we'll contact the police. He says, I think I've seen you before. We'll contact the police and let them know, but let them take over. And of course, the stranger gets scared, and he strikes the priest with one of the wine bottles, and he inadvertently kills him, and he buries him down, and he buries him down in the quarry, and then he looks through the van, and he assumes the priest's identity. He adopts this name, David Martin, and he's now going to become a priest. Now, initially you're thinking, well, why did he just keep going? Well, the van has seen better days, and And we find out as he rolls into the small town. Um, well, things happen in the small town. So he's basically trapped in the town. He can't really go anywhere. He just got there, and he's like, and him and the sheriff immediately clash. Um, he as David has driven the van into the church. That's what we're gonna. That's what the stranger started calling himself. He starts calling himself David. So David parks the van. He's just exhausted. He's on his. As soon as he lays down, he's asleep. And the lady who's running the house says, you probably shouldn't do that. It's not a very safe neighborhood around here. Well, he does because he's dead tired. When he wakes up, he sees that the van has been ransacked, windows broken, things stolen, and so he goes and reports it to the sheriff. And as he's sitting there talking to the sheriff, um, he notices that his picture's on the help is on the most wanted list. So he takes a quick opportunity when the sheriff is distracted to go over there and snag the picture. Um, but the sheriff is already from the very get go. He's sort of uneasy about this guy. The sheriff is his whole police staff for such a small town. They're extraordinarily gifted as far as detectives go. It doesn't take them a whole hell of a lot to figure out this guy probably not who he says he is, but we're going to give him enough rope to see what he does with it. Well, David surprises them by actually knowing what to do as far as as far as being a priest goes. Um, the sheriff said no one's going to come no one comes to the church anymore. And then this gentleman, David, he comes over there and he started talking from the Bible. Now, this is one of those, this is one of those. He's doing it because he truly is sorry. He knows that he is messed up, and he just doesn't know what to do. We go back and see the fire. We see him trapped. So we don't know we don't really know his whole story. We look at him. He's trapped in this burning house. He can't get out. Did someone put him in there? Um, why is he wanted? Why is he why are the cops looking for him? And and then when the lady whose house he's staying in, it turns out that it was her brothers that stole everything out of the van, and they too are pretty smart because they're looking over this guy's possessions, and they figure out where he's been. He's been out by the plants that he has in his truck. They know that his truck has been to the quarry. Now that causes stress for the boys because they've been growing marijuana out there. So, but they know the plant, and they also know too the priest is not exactly who he says he is, and they find that out the first hand about that. Um, this is a very interesting movie. It's a long movie. It's 2 hours long, and it's a slow burn, but it's a very very good character study. From all from looking at from everybody's eyes, whether it be Michael Shannon's sheriff, Katerina, the lady who who's having an affair with Michael Shannon's sheriff, Shea Wiggum, the two brothers, the younger brother, Valentine, the older brother, Paco, the younger brother. They know that the priest is not who he says he is, but it surprises you is that you would think that once the priest knows this, he would get out there to try to protect himself, either by leaving in a hurry or maybe taking things into his own hands, but he does neither. And that is a very interesting, it's the catchphrase on this is, and I think it's pretty appropriate. It says here, guilt is a heavy burden. So I think we see basically a man who got over his head, did something dastardly. He was trying to get away. Um, I don't think he meant to kill the priest. He just wanted to get away. He didn't like to be touched. He wasn't going to be given up. He wasn't going to be giving up the. He wasn't going to be giving that up to the priest. He didn't mean to kill him, but he had already committed crimes earlier, so it really didn't matter what he said and who he said it to. Um, and so the movie goes. These kind of movies, wherever they take over an ID, it generally goes one or two ways. They either get caught, or he manages to escape. Well, you'll have to watch the movie to see that. But I do say this is a very, very good movie. Um, Loved where it was filmed at. Filmed in Texas, and it's beautifully written. Um, like I said, my only complaint with it was a little too long. It's 2 hours long, and it could have been an hour and a half. It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn. There's not going to be any, last minute Dukes of Hazzard shit or anything like that, and you know, shoot 'em ups and stuff like that. It stays true. It stays true to its spirit throughout the whole movie. It doesn't surprise you. If you're watching it, you realize where it's going to go. It makes sense. It goes where it goes, and it's well written, and it's written well to take it where it needs to go. Um, I liked it. Like I said, I liked it a lot. I recommend it. I recommend this, to tell you the truth. Um, Special features included a director's commentary, and it also includes a trailer, some pictures from the movie behind. This is from Lionsgate, so you can get this at all the major retailers. Probably Amazon, eBay, um, Walmart, that sort of thing. It's not that old. Um, so yeah. All right, so that is Dollar Theater Voters Edition. We're gonna go back at it. We're gonna put up another 4 movies, and hopefully you'll enjoy what we pick out. I don't know what we're picking out yet, but by the time you hear my voice, I will already come up with something. Um, by all means, make a suggestion. Make a suggestion as far as genre. What do you want me and Cheetah to watch and review? You can put down Pacific movies, but I have to make sure that I get them for $1.25 or less. Not everything I get is I have to pass on some movies because I paid more for them. But this one here I think this one's 75 cents. They were closing. Uh, uh, Family Video was closing, and so I think they were selling it initially. They were selling it for like $4 or $5, but I got my copy for 75 cents. Pays to have friends. All right. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider giving a sub. Drop a comment down below, and we will talk at you next week. Peace.